This is Modern Persian Food,
a culinary podcast for today's food enthusiast.
We talk about classic Persian flavors,
modern recipes,
and embracing culture and identity through food.
I'm Bita.
And I'm also Bita.
Welcome to our show. Hi, friends. Welcome to episode 149. Today, I'm proud to welcome our special guest, esteemed author and entrepreneur Nasim Alikhani. Born and raised in Isfahan, Iran, where from a young age and with a role model of strong women around her, she started cooking for large groups. And flash forward 5 years ago, she opened a lovely restaurant, Sofreh, Brooklyn-based Iranian restaurant. It's also the name of her cookbook that we're featuring today as part of our summer cookbook series. Her accomplishments are many. In 2021, Nasim was selected as one of 10 chefs and the first ever Iranian chef to create the menu for guests at the Met Gala in New York City. In 2023, Nasim was named a James Beard Foundation semi-finalist for Best Chef, New York State. And if that's not enough, Nasim cooked for President Biden, the First Lady, and their guests at the special Nowruz reception at the White House this last spring. That was so cool to watch, by the way. Welcome to our show.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
We're also joined, as always, by my snappy, bright, beautiful partner, the other Bita June. Hey, Bita.
Hi, Bita June. Hi, Nasim June. Thank you both for taking the time today. I'm super excited and honored to have you on the show, Nasim June. You seem like a very extraordinary person, and I can't wait until I can actually come to your restaurant and taste some of the delicious sounding food that you are serving to people and just your hospitality. And yes, as Bita June mentioned, we're doing a little cookbook series this summer where we're featuring new cookbooks and up-and-coming authors. And I have a copy of your book right here in front of me. It is lovely. I've already started tagging the recipes that I can't wait to make. But we thought we'd take the opportunity to introduce you to our listeners. And if you would tell us a little bit about kind of your inspiration, what led you to actually writing the cookbook, and also, opening up this fantastic restaurant is getting really positive feedback and press. So we're anxious to hear more about it.
Well, thank you so much. You're asking me to summarize 50 years of life in 10 minutes conversation. When I say 50 years, it's because I've been cooking for 50 years, and maybe first as a little helper next to my mother and doing little like salad olivier for the parties that she couldn't chop all that potato and shred all the chickens. And I was like 9 or 10 years old. So, but I've been cooking literally from age 10, 11 next to my mother. And thank God in Iran, we didn't have this issue of kitchen knife, dangerous for the kids, fire. My mother was like, you want to be here, be my guest. So fast forward to so many years, revolution happened and I ended up here, like among many of us. I was dreaming to be a judge. I went to law school in Iran and revolution happened and women were not allowed to be judges, and then things changed, and then I found myself here in New York City all alone to be a student, continue law originally, but that didn't last very long, both for financial reasons as well as just I realized I grew up, law wasn't for me, and food, cooking, and working for people. I became a nanny, coincidentally, in someone's home, so a loving home, Iranian family. My English was poor, my budget was very limited, and they had 2 adorable children, and I love kids. And I ended up cooking, and I found comfort, and I found just calmness. That it was just very hard because I had no one, I had no budget, and cooking, especially for that family, they were the highlight of my day. Like go to school, finish the school, run back home, make something delicious, and we all eat together. And that led to more cooking for friends' weddings, and all of that. And in between, I finished the university. I started a master program. I opened different businesses, but all my life, I found comfort and joy, not just in cooking, also exploring food in New York City in the 80s. The neighborhood I was living was full of immigrants from all over the world, from entire South America. I could just walk one block. I would see from Brazilian to Argentinian to Honduran to you name it. The other block was all Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi. Oh my God, I was in heaven. For a little bit of money with my budget, I was able to just taste the flavor of the world. And my eyes were like popping up with these new discoveries, as well as just comfort. Like when you just meet someone and you sit next to someone, no matter of their budget, and you share and they tell you proudly where they come from, what this food is about. And you, it's just immediately there is like an open conversation. There is immediately a channel. Food has this power. And I became aware of it and through myself. And then I became a mother, blah, blah, blah. And I also did some work with UN and I did so much. But all my life, I just kept back to what brings me joy was cooking, but not just cooking, sharing, sharing.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I think that what really touched me and kind of fired me up about your story, I read the whole intro. It's very personal, and your book is so thorough. I really appreciate how rich, it's loving. But what really grabs me whenever I am reading about you or hearing about you is that you followed your dreams and your passion, and you just were getting started in your 50s. And I think that you are a great role model for the fact that you can follow your passion and your dream at any time. It's never too late. And you've overcome these obstacles and tumultuous times. And, you know, we all do what we got to do at the different stages of our life, whether we're doing it to raise our kids or to make a buck or, you know, to get the degree, but to kind of like find that thing that connects us and really makes us feel whole. And then to take that passion to the next level. I just find that really, really inspiring.
I know that at any point of our lives, especially as we get older, and I take that with pride, we also learn the value of time and the chances we are getting in life. When you are 20 years old, the world seems like endless possibilities. Endless. And that's why you do stupid things. And you got to do stupid things because that's the required age of being stupidly brave, stupidly like unconscious. But when you are 50 and 60, you understand you sometimes don't have chances. You just don't ever get those chances. And whatever you got is what you got. So let's make the most of it. And I am fully aware of my years, both in a positive and also it's just like the clock is ticking. If I'm about to make something of my life, this is it. And that was the main point. Despite all the fear and anxiety and uncertainty, I entered at age 59, one of the most grueling, physically grueling industry and also mentally tasking industry. One of them, there are many, but this is one of the, and it's super competitive, values youth, values muscles and strength and, staying through. And then but I knew that if I don't grab this chance, it will never be another chance. And that is something I couldn't live with. So I just like, what do? You are in a dark tunnel. The only way is just keep moving forward. You stumble upon many things, rocks, you fall in a hole, but you have to keep moving and you have to keep going until you see the light because no turning back at age 59, especially after all that investment, emotional and financial but also just life without vision, without purpose. It can be disorienting. You can be in hard times. You and I know now we're talking about age. We have fallen down many times. We have been disappointed numerous times, and we will get disappointed and we will make mistakes. But coming back is what makes us different from someone who just stays down.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys bring up some really interesting concepts and ways of thinking. I think, the tunnel, Nasim Jun, that you were talking about, yeah, you may not know what's next. It might be a dark tunnel. You just have to go forward and believing in yourself and having the confidence to do that, I think is huge. And so it's really inspiring to see women like you, both of you who, can really like kind of embrace change and embrace like new opportunities. So, round of applause for both of you guys too, Nasim June and Bita June, you too, I think you guys work really, really hard and are following your passion. So that's very inspiring.
Hi, friends. I want to tell you about this delicious honey by Zafra Saffron. It's made with American star thistle honey mixed with premium Persian saffron, creating this blend that is literally the best thing on anything. I love using it when I'm making shola zard and also drizzled on my Persian rice pudding, sherbet. They package it in the prettiest glass jars, making it a lovely gift this holiday season. My favorite go-to for easy cooking is the pre-portioned organic saffron powder. Order your favorite saffron product at zaffrus.com or on Amazon. Zaffrus. Thanks to our sponsor.
I spend a lot of time with your book and it's beautiful. I love the illustrations. I love the recipes. What I feel like the common theme that I pulled out of this book, aside from like recipe wise, which I'll get into in a second, but I really felt your sense of Persian hospitality and the like raw passion of making people happy and making other people feel loved and making them feel welcome. And it sounds that like when people enter your restaurant, they kind of feel those emotions. And I could totally get that reading through the book. And I love that approach. But I do have to say that sometimes in life, I get a little disappointed and I feel like I need to pull back on that a little bit. But I had a really interesting kind of like renewal after reading your book that like, no, those are the pillars of humanity and makes me want to embrace it more now. So I think that that was really special. It's evident in your book and your stories and even the way that you kind of introduce each of the recipes. You can totally tell that it's like, you're making other people happy. It's just really refreshing to see that. So thank you for that. In response to the recipes, so I do have to say that this is like going to be my new go-to cookbook. Like you have all of the recipes that I would want to know. Like you have them all in here. So I think that's great. I can't wait to try a few new things for Nowruz, your herb Nowruz rice. For Yalda this year, I want to do your aash anar with the little meatballs. And like I said, I've tagged a bunch of recipes that I want to spend more time with.
I think this cookbook is great for the novice, the new, because you have a whole pantry essentials section at the start. And it's also good for Persian home cooks who have been cooking because there are variations and new twists on things. I'm really excited about the fact that there's an entire section on eggplant. So I want to make every one of the eggplant dishes. I also have tried barbari a few times, but I don't feel like I've quite gotten it right. And I hear that your barbari recipe is very good. So I want to make that. But I also wanted to hear if you have any favorites or recommendations of good places to start for both new and seasoned home cooks.
I really had to spend a lot of time what dishes I wanted to put in and what not. I had about 70 recipes already written down because I was not going to be in a restaurant business. I just wanted to leave something behind for my kids. So I had done already from years ago, like at least 70. And every time somebody was asking me something, I would email them. And then, of course, we retested those recipes. But I categorize cooking in several ways. One is what is it you cook when your kids are like, you just come from soccer practice, you need to throw them in the shower and feed them. And then what do you cook when you are expecting, maybe you want to treat your partner and yourself to something, or you're expecting a family coming for dinner or lunch. Or sometimes you just embark on a beautiful cooking project for the heck of it. When I say for the heck of it, it's just like knocking everybody's door and handing them of something with no reason at all. No reason at all. You just like see it, you go to farmer's market, you see a bunch of abundance of something. Right now I'm like always in the market and make a massive amount of turkey, painstakingly spend time, almost like meditation. Chop them, plan them, go through the laborious pain, but don't see it as a laborious pain. It's gift making, it's an art of giving. And then decorate them, put them in a proper jar, write the names, or don't even have names, put them on the side of your cupboard, wait for someone to invite you somewhere, and go with your own homemade something to them. And that's how I saw these giving recipes. There is one recipe in the ash section. I love ash, by the way. I can live on any kinds of ash, and by that I don't mean ash reshte that everybody knows and loves. I have over 40 recipes of ash. Maybe at some point I'm going to just dedicate one book to ash.
Yes,
Oh, I
please.
love it.
Probably I have to self-publish it, because who's gonna
Yeah.
who's gonna do it? But anyway, this recipe called Everything But Kitchen Sink.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's 3 pages of ingredients and cooking instruction.
آش شل قلمکار, right?
Yeah. My husband was joking, like, "Are you kidding me? Who's gonna make that?"
I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
You see, I'm gonna tell him there is already a volunteer. I told, I told him this is not for everybody. Like so many of these recipes are not for everybody, but I'll do it for a couple of 2 reasons particularly. One is I want to mark a kind of recipe that is becoming extinct because people are busy. We are losing our grandmothers. This is a typical dish my grandmother used to make when she expected 40, 50 people coming, or there was a special Shole Qalamkar Day that in Esfahan we have that very common. I want to leave it for that. That like almost stamping my tiny, tiniest contribution in this foreign land. But secondly, it's for someone who says, you know what, look at the ingredient and say, oh wow, I'm intrigued by this challenge. Let's get to work. And then you have a massive pot of ash, time to call everybody and say, come for a bowl of ash. And the celebration of gathering is just so incredible. And this is what I get extreme kick out of it. And it's similar to Sofreh. I am preparing massive amount of food every day. And for me, it's like every day I'm almost having mehmuni
Hmm.
party
Of course.
without doing the dishes. How cool is
That's
that?
the best part.
You're actually the chef.
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
You're the
chef
chef.
and owner.
I
Yeah.
am the chef.
Pizza June, we got to go. We
I'm
would
I'm
like
ready.
to come.
Yeah.
Please make us a reservation.
Yeah, no, I'm the chef and I'm there every day. And when people say, no, you're not, because just like a typical Iranian host, we like to dress up for our parties, as you know, Bita. And when guests are coming, no matter how I look, how much, onion and garlic smell I have, I go and take a quick shower, change my outfit, put my lipstick on, and show up as a host. And people say, no, you're not cook. You look too good. And then I show them my burn marks. Oh,
Aw.
of course I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you work very, very hard. And we appreciate so much that you take time out of your busy day to meet with us and chat with us a little bit here.
Of course.
What's next? You mentioned that there could be a potential new cookbook eventually in the future, but what do you look forward to in your business and your cookbook launch? And what's next? What can we look forward to?
First of all, the book just launched, and I can't wait to get the conversation going around this because to me, it's so much more than just a cookbook. And I know there are tons of great, great cookbooks already published around. So maybe this book is not offering something different, or maybe it does, except it has some restaurant chapter as well. But what I try to communicate to my audience, in parts of the book, I say it maybe not so clearly. I want my audience, my non Iranian audience, and our second generation audience, think about us as us Persians, Iranians, whatever you want to call it. Who are we? How did we come here? How did we get here? What is our story about? And that doesn't mean just the Persians, Iranians. Every so called ethnic food you eat, think about the people behind it, the rich history behind it, the rich traditions behind it, and value those. So, what if the food is maybe a little watery, maybe a little salty, maybe it doesn't go with your palate? But think about the roots where these come, and roots are very important to me. And this is a conversation I want to have over and over again and bring the attention to us. I wish I could speak for the world and for all the all the women are from all over the world who cook and they leave recipes behind with no name and with no, and somebody may discover them or not, but at least I can do that for our cuisine and for our people. And I'm very vocal about it. But what I'm going to do with this incredible honor and opportunity is A, speaking out. And that is one reason perhaps Iran wasn't exactly good for me, because I like to talk and express myself. But I like to, in terms of being specific, aside from Sofreh, being on a floor, greeting my guests, telling them about what to eat and how to eat and what to eat with what and what not mix. I'm very like assertive about what I feel they should be doing. Aside from that, I have few like idea of the cooking projects stuff in my head, but I don't want just to have like five more books or two more books or even one more book if there is not a solid reason behind it. Why am I doing and what is my purpose? Right now, I have incredible purpose that I serve. I have 100, anywhere from 110 to 140, 30 people a night, and I engage with many of them as best as possible. And I've never felt more rich in my life. But also, I'm planning to bring our cafe culture. Right now, cafes are amazing thing in US. Incredible French pastries and very exotic stuff is coming out every day, especially in New York. Oh my God, everything is just like so bad for your diabetes level and your sugar, but incredible. But I also, again, don't see any representations of our food again. The same way that we have ton of kebab houses and we didn't have a kind of a restaurant that serves the kind of food I'm serving. Now I feel that void of not having a cafe that you come and linger and just
Mm-hmm.
have chai and maybe a little bit of ranginak or halwa, or maybe just sandwich zabun, like tongue sandwich, things like that, things that are casual, easy to take out, but is distinctively ours. So the cafe is coming up actually pretty soon. I found a location very close to Sofreh because I need to control everything I do and monitor everything I do.
Sure.
So the cafe is across the street, literally walking
Oh
distance.
my
So
goodness.
Wow.
yeah, I'm opening a cafe and I'm still working on the menus. And I want to also bring younger generation who grew up here and did not have the luxury of my youth when we were walking in streets of Tehran. When I was going to university, every corner was selling something like incredibly delicious, but also healthy. Like they were roasting beets on the street, like season of like all kinds of chagale and all kinds of fruits coming into the season and being offered with salt, and Persians love sour. So I won't be able to offer something that concept, but I want to come close to it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. So exciting. Nasim Jun, thank you again so much for taking the time to meet with us. Where can listeners find more information about you, your website, your social media, if you want to share that?
Sure. Our social media is Sofreh_Brooklyn. Pretty much everything they want is there. But also our website is sofrehnyc.com. Again, all the press, everything I have done, it's there. And that's also a place for upcoming tours that is coming up with the book.
Oh, so lovely. So lovely. Well, again, thank you so much, Nasim Jun.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So happy to feature you, and I can't wait to make some of these recipes in the book and to meet you in person, hopefully one day soon.
I hope so. But yeah, communicate with me how the recipes turn out and how some of them are cumbersome, and whether you get joy actually in doing something that is long and tedious, but how you feel at the end of it. I like to
Yes.
hear
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. I will do.
We definitely will. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Until next time.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Modern Persian Food Podcast with Bita and Bita. Thanks for spending time with us. If you've enjoyed what you heard today, consider telling a friend or giving us a good rating. You can subscribe to our show for free on your favorite podcasting app or find us online at modernpersianfood.com or on Instagram for the recipes and information we talked about today. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see you next time.